If the golf course is where the scores are made and the tournament's won and lost, then certainly the practice range is where a lot of the hard work happens. And this week, we're looking at the people that help with that, those golfing gurus, the coaches. Well, alongside me down here on the range, Pete Cowan. Tell me about the work that you do week to week and I suppose how your day works.
Well, Tom, I travel probably 30 weeks of the year, do about 200,000 air miles and spend an awful lot of time on the range with these guys. I've got a lot of players, so it's quite dawn till dusk all the time, and some of it is psychological. You've got to make sure that the brain's in the right place to actually take in the learning that you're actually trying to impart on them.
You do a lot of work at the beginning of a week, I suppose, but do you ever get a sort of panicked phone call, maybe on a Friday night before the weekend begins, or maybe something's not working for the player? Do you get that last minute call to arms?
I did this year when Brett Rumford was in the playoff in Korea. He was in the playoff, said he couldn't hit the fairway, so he wanted a 2-minute lesson over the phone before he actually started the playoff. So I gave him a 2-minute lesson, and of course he won the playoff with an eagle. So they do ring it some funny times. That was about 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Luckily my phone was on.
If a player comes to you and really wants an overhaul on their swing, how do you deal with that situation? Has that happened, and at what point during the season does that happen?
Well, it's happened an awful lot, like Henrik Stenson came to me in the early 2002 I think it was, and it was a complete rebuild, so that's a difficult one really, but he did really well, and then he went backwards again, and then he's come backwards again, so this game is definitely a find it lose it scenario sometimes, but we don't want them to lose it too often, that's for sure, so we try and keep on top of them all the time.
It's massively important, but it has to be on the terms of the player. You probably tend to see people overuse their coach more than anything else. You have to, when you're on the golf course, you're on your own, so you have to develop that sort of mindset. Coaches, a little bit like surgeons. If you go to a surgeon and you ask him, well, should he operate? They nearly always will say, yeah, operate. And a swing coach is the same. If you go to him and ask him, what should I work on? He's going to find something. So while it is important to consult and work with your coach, it's important to do it at the right time so that you do feel like you're taking responsibility for your own game.